What's up, guys? Hope you're in good spirits. Hope you're healthy, because health is wealth. Back with another one. This weekend's fight got me thinking. Programming versus perception versus reality. I think it's something good to speak on. What is programming? Programming is a thought process whereby which a person is trained to think in a certain manner, whether willingly or unwillingly, whether rather wittingly or unwittingly. What is perception? Perception is how you perceive things, or how you look at things, how you think about things. Correct? What is reality? Reality is what actually is. Reality is facts. How you perceive something might be an opinion, but reality is the actual fact of the matter. Can't be disputed or refuted. It's truth. Reality is the truth. So, using this, for lack of a better word, using this base standard, let's segue into what happened this weekend. Or let's segue that into the whole cloud surrounding this fight. You were told that Errol Spence was the Tim Duncan of boxing, that he was the most fundamentally sound boxer in boxing, meaning he did everything right. But they lied to you. They programmed you to believe this. Errol Spence is good at the basics of boxing. True. To a degree, that's true. But he's not fundamentally sound. He does a lot of things that you shouldn't do. If we're talking about fundamentals, you shouldn't reach with your punches because it can leave you open in no man's land at a disadvantage. That's not fundamentally sound, correct? He drops his right hand a lot. That's not fundamentally sound, correct? He doesn't pull his right hand back often when he throws his jab. It's not fundamentally sound, correct? He often lunges with punches that will leave him exposed, falling off to the side, open to be hit. That's not fundamentally sound, correct? I could keep going, but I think you get my point. So you were told and programmed to think that Errol Spence was a better technical fighter than Terence Crawford when he never was. He never was. They tried to get you to, but they didn't try. They did get you to think that Terence Crawford is just an athlete with no technical skills or low-grade technical skills, and Errol Spence was a technician, a better technician, and better and more fundamentally sound. It was all a lie. It's programming. This is why you should watch tape for yourself and do the research for yourself. I'm talking to all people, especially people who are trying to gamble and use information to make money. Stop being fans of man and actually do the work on your own. You have to do the work. People will tell you anything. Fans are dangerous, bro. They don't live in reality. Their affinity for a person will override logic. They told you Errol Spence had a better jab. Even though if you just go look at the data will tell you he did not have a better jab. He just threw more jabs. Crawford threw less jabs, landed just as many jabs, which equals better efficiency. Less exposure, less wasted motion. But they told you Errol Spence had a better jab. They also told you Terrence Crawford defense was horrible. They tried to tell you this. They programmed you to think that. So all I saw was people running around, Terrence Crawford get hit, Terrence Crawford get hit, Terrence Crawford get hit. Even though, if you weren't lazy as hell, I know it's hard to think, people. If you go look at the data, numbers can lie. But this stuff is overwhelming when you do the research. When you go look at the data, Terrence Crawford got hit less in 3 fights than Errol Spence got hit in 1 fight. I'm going to repeat this again. Terrence Crawford got hit less in 3 fights than Errol Spence got hit in 1 fight. Sean Porter hit Errol Spence more times in 1 fight than Terrence Crawford got hit against Sean Porter, David Avanesian, and Kell Brook. But they told you that Errol Spence is a better defensive fighter. Why? Because he's more fundamentally sound and he's the Tim Duncan of boxing. So Tim Duncan was actually fundamentally sound and was actually a great defender, was actually solid at everything, did everything by the book, methodically, patiently, intelligently. That's not Errol Spence. See, but you see how word association works? Oh, he's fundamentally sound, fundamental Tim Duncan. Oh, better fighter. Oh. Even though, but they would never tell you that about Crawford. They would just tell you Crawford is athletic. That's it. But they wouldn't tell you who he's athletic like. See, because if they were to do that, and they were to tell you, oh, Terrence Crawford's athletic like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, that would have probably gave you pause, right? You'd be like, Tim Duncan? You know, it's an ongoing argument who's better, Tim Duncan or Kobe. I say Kobe because every time they play head-to-head in meaningful games, the Lakers won. Simple. And he got to 5 championships faster than Tim Duncan. And he played on the worst team for majority of his career. But that's neither here nor there. But if they were to tell you, or were to tell you that Terrence Crawford was like Michael Jordan or Kobe or something like that, it probably would have given you pause. But since they just told you Terrence Crawford is like some athletic dude, like it don't really mean shit, it's like of no significance, you figure Errol Spence being associated with Tim Duncan is somehow equates to something better. Bigger, stronger, faster, better defensively, better jab. Just better everything. Well, actually, they lied to you. Man, promotion is everything. I do agree with people on that. Promotion is everything. They essentially programmed you to think in a certain manner, and a lot of you couldn't get off that. That's why you're still in shock and you can't believe that Errol Spence looked like that. Because you've been programmed to think that Errol Spence was better than Terrence Crawford. So it's no way this little guy, they told you he was a little guy. They told you Errol Spence had more power, even though Bud done knocked out the last 11, 12 opponents that he's faced. TKO, KO, dummies want to argue over TKOs and KOs, like silly stuff like this. Just ignorant, mind-bogglingly, whatever. I'm tongue-tied today. Stupid nonsense. And you ate it up, you believed it. The man has stopped 11 or 12 straight opponents. The only fighter who's on a longer streak is Beterbiev. I think he had like 20 or something like that. But they told you Spence was more powerful. I tried to tell you people, Spence is not a more powerful fighter than Terrence Crawford. What Spence is he's a big guy, so his punches hurt. If you go hit the heavy bag against somebody that's not punching back, or you go hit somebody like they're a heavy bag and they're not punching back, eventually even you could break some bones and take an eye. When people asked you, okay, so how come he didn't break bones on Sean Porter or, break Sean Porter ribs, break his eye? They had no answer for you because the programming, it won't allow them to think properly. So they're programmed to fight back with vitriol against anybody who's against the programming. It's a dangerous thing. Learn to think for yourself. That's the ultimate message I want you to take from this video. Do the work on your own. Do the research on your own. Especially if you're going to be gambling. A lot of people lost money because they was listening to dumb YouTube channels that don't know what the fuck they're talking about or what they're looking at. The information is out there. You dudes got smartphones. Google. Find the information. Because the truth was, if you looked at all the mitigating factors objectively, Terrence Crawford was a way better fighter. The only thing you could say is he was smaller. But he's pretty much like he said at the press conference. He's better at everything. He could do what the fuck he want to do. And fight however he want to fight. But they told you Errol Spence was just as fast, better defensively, stronger, bigger, a bully, powerful. So by that logic, Terrence Crawford, this little man just had no chance. But we all saw what happened. And we all saw how the superior fighter looked. Because that was reality the whole time. When you gamble, you're not gambling on hope. You're gambling on an outcome. What's the more likely outcome? Not about how you feel. So if you took that into account, the more likely outcome was also always Terrence Crawford will win by any means necessary, KO, TKO, decision, unless they cheated him. It's a far superior fighter. And that's why Errol Spence looked the way that he looked. So programming versus perception versus reality. Y'all have a good day, man.